insignificant, but there's always imports. Officially to avoid the proverbial cereal bowl and play for the...
You made that up?
I'd like to take credit for it. Yes,
That's
I would.
Really
yes.
Good.
And
you got to come up with a Hawaiian meal.
Yeah, good point.
Part of that.
Breakfast, yes. So, but you know, at this age, you need your sleep, and 9 o'clock tip is a little unreasonable. But all the more, like Coach Gabriel was saying before the game, you know, if you want motivation and the kids don't want to get up early, he said, well, win the dang game. So,
absolutely right. Molina wins an uncontested tip, and the Raiders have it first. This is Bumanglug. Yamada. Back to Bumanglug. Pretty much a four-guard offense here. Working off that pick by Molina. This is Yamada, long three. Rebound, Morita. Raiders have a second chance, and they will do it. And a third. Five on the shot clock. Yamada drives. He can't finish at the rim. It's another opportunity. The ball will finally go over to Mililani. That was a 53-second possession there in a shot clock game.
And although you didn't get any points out of it, what you did is you got a bunch of looks, and you also got a lot of activity. Looks like the Raiders have their legs under them and their heart pumping. Mililani's still getting that first defensive rebound.
Do you have your legs and throat under you? I feel like we were just here last night at the end of the slam dunk contest, and here we are once again. And loving it, by the way.
Nothing else we're out to do holiday season. Yep, exactly.
Kobe Sasan's pass knocked away.
Iolani trying to up the pressure a little bit. Recognize, let's get some traps going. Let's get some easy deflections. You don't always need to steal. Let's put a little pressure on Mililani's ball handlers.
This is Trey Lieb. Kanoa Gibson. Floater. That's a little short. Back to Gibson. He'll try this time from beyond the arc and hit. That's what he does out there. Three-point shooter.
Athletic confidence. That's what the Trojans are going to be leaning on today.
Morita three. It's cleared away by Ethan Rudemetkin. Here come the Trojans. Rudemetkin's got it down here. This leads three-pointers off. He hustles and almost gets his own rebound. Here come the Raiders. They do not have numbers, but Yamada does not care and takes it strong to the rim, and he'll go to the line to shoot two.
Yeah, that might be interpreted as when you're young, you're taught, well, the numbers aren't right, so don't force it. But I think Yamada recognized he didn't have any help on the wings for a kick. Saw the Trojans sort of backpedaling, and oftentimes you can get yourself a cheap foul and get to the line, even though you're outnumbered on the drive.
West makes the first. Puts the Raiders on the board.
Yeah, he's their guy. Wherever he goes this year, they're going to need him to be at the helm.
And the second. Trojans lead it by one. Just under 6 minutes here. Left in the first quarter. Gibson, nice pass down low to Rudemetkin, and he finishes.
Flash through the ball, nice and hard. Rudemetkin got what he deserved. Post-entry pass.
Bumanglug. Yamada, aggressive again, steps back. Jump is off the mark. Trojans come away with it. Gibson. Rudemetkin being counted by two Raiders. Lieb will settle it down. There's 10 on the shot clock. Wild shot there, and make by Colby Sasson.
That's one of those you keep your eye, take your eye off your man and staring at the play. See someone slips by and gets an easy one.
.15 on the shot clock for the Raiders. They had a couple shot clock violations in yesterday's game. Countdown to 5 now. Yamada's gonna have to shoot that one from a ways away. Ball heads out of bounds in the direction of Coach Wendell Look.
Interesting what the shot clock does when you're not used to playing with it. It makes you coach a little more, makes the players be a little more cognizant of time, but also you notice the ones that are used to it and comfortable with it oftentimes don't panic when you hear the countdown and force a bad shot. At that time, they get a clean look, get a lucky bounce, get the ball back again.
The shot clock reset goes back to 20. Ethan Thomas with the rebound for the Trojans. They lead it by 5, 4 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Nice snap pass inside to Rudimentkin. A bit knocked away. Turnover Trojans.
Coach Hirata changing up a little bit early in the game, first quarter, different looks. Trapping man, matchup zone on this last possession. We keep Mililani uncomfortable on the offensive end.
Aquila Indalecio and Zachary Ten into the game for the Raiders, replacing Yamada and Molina. Indalecio is the only freshman on the team. Bumonglo, three-pointer on the way. Gets his own rebound after a bounce and a tip. Zachary 10, Morita 3. Gibson's got it.
Still in this matchup zone, causing a little bit of confusion for the Trojans. Raiders doing a good job of communicating and covering their bases.
Devin Fujinaka into the game for Bumonglog. It was a good play there by Indalecio. He knocked it out of Gibson's hands, but somehow off Gibson.
He's a nice-looking young player. Looking forward to seeing him for the next 2 years.
It gets knocked away by Morita, and then he gets hit in the back by Colby Sasson.
Smart play by Morita. He could have got to the ball, dove and tried to save it, but instead stepped in front of the defender and drew a foul.
Kind of needed to do that there because of the over and back situation.
Veteran move there, yeah.
Substitution, Mililani, number 10.
Sometimes the little things Coach Hirata spoke of before the game, that his focus today was on the little things. Chalk up a simple point to wing pass as one of those.
Yeah, another things he's talking about with the little things is when you check in, let the guy know who you've got, communicate, the really small things that can't be overlooked. They're all building blocks. Cross-court pass to Papa. Raiders come away with it. This three-point attempt by Morita. That doesn't draw any iron. 30-second timeout called by Mililani head coach Garrett Gabriel. You were telling me earlier this is a big anniversary day for Mr. Garrett Gabriel.
In a way, we're 30 years removed, give or take, a few weeks from the old 56-14, I believe, drubbing of the arch rival BYU Cougars in 1989.
Garrett Gabriel was the quarterback of the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors, and Ty Detmer was on the other side and had just won the Heisman Trophy.
Nothing like motivation when you have an arch rival coming into your your house with a newly minted Heisman winner. You don't need any more motivation than that. And you know, seeing some of the old footage surface over the last few weeks, and I still remember as a little kid the Number 18, Garrick Abel dropping back and dropping 43, Jamal Farmer. One of the better screen pass finishes. That thing must have been about 80 yards. Barreling through tackles, it was beautiful.
Wow.
I'm all jacked for next week.
Yeah, the Hawaii Bowl. Hawaii versus BYU on Christmas Eve. Lee, oh excuse me, that is number 11, Higashi.
You notice since Hirata has shifted to the zone here, Mililani kind of out of sorts, not really getting clean looks. Just drew an offensive foul there. Let's see if Hirata sticks with that until Mililani figures it out.
Fujinaka drives hard to the rim, but can't finish up there. It's another one of those little things. Layups, free throws, need those.
Yeah.
Gibson spins in the lane, puts it in. Gibson's also a football player, talking about football a minute ago. He is a second-team All-Hawaii wide receiver for the Trojans football team. Indalecio from the far corner, a three-pointer for the freshman.
Think about Indalecio in freshmen. What sets them apart from their peers is when they're playing at this level, there's a confidence and a comfort, as we see another freshman, Jaden Kipapa, drain a three from the wing. These two, Indalecio and Kipapa, were in last year's HD Futures showcase held at Damien Memorial School, where we had the island's most promising, and some neighbor islands, most promising young talent showcased for a weekend. Fantastic players, and these are two products.
That continues the uncle theme. Jaden Kipapa is the nephew of Harrison Lum, who works in our office back here at Iolani School. He's tuning in on BallerTV. In Hawaii, everybody's related to everybody. I mean,
that is true. It's the first thing you ask when you meet someone you'd like to meet a significant other. You make sure you're not related.
that I didn't know. Now I do.
Ball number 2, Manoa Gibson.
31.8 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Raiders trail it by 7.
So they did switch it.
Yamada's hit while shooting a three-pointer.
Ball number 10.
Speaking of family,
That's the big and one, right?
that's the and one. Speaking of family, we have in our officiating crew, we have our father-son duo of Chuck and Curtis Martin.
Chuck Martin's amazing. He's doing this on some artificial parts. Might be a hip and a knee or two. And what a gamer. My 6th grade PE teacher, way back, I don't know, what was that 50 years ago?
Mine as well. Also, the infamous, I guess is a fair label, study hall proctor for many years in the cafeteria.
And still to this day.
And to this day.
Converting down here on the other end, Austin Newton.
Yes. Chuck Martin not only calls fouls and violations, he also calls fouls and violations in your dress code. So everybody's on their toes when Mr. Martin walks into study hall.
That is indeed true. After the first 8 minutes, Mililani 14, Raiders 9. It's been a kind of an unusual, atypical journey here in the Iolani Classic. In the first round, the Raiders lost to Kalani. Typically what happens is Iolani will be matched up against a local team with the hopes as the home team, should be to get into the winner's bracket and play at night and play presumably 3 mainland teams. But that transferred over to the Kalani Falcons, who played Oak Hill last night, lost 91-35. But You know, they're in the evening games. The Raiders are here, kind of in the brunch bowl, not the cereal bowl, the 9 o'clock, but
Yeah, this is a tuna sandwich bowl. You know, you can have a tuna sandwich.
Yeah.
Mid morning is all right. You know.
But we talked to Coach Hirata just before this broadcast, and what he's looking for is the ILH season, January. This team, it's rebuilding. They're in transition. They got the football guys back from the football team. They made it to the Division I state championship game, which is played on the Friday after Thanksgiving. So they kind of got inserted into the mix late with all these the guards.
Yep.
And they're finding their way. But like we said a little bit earlier, trying to do the little things.
And, you know, they're not alone. I mean, most schools at this point in the season are getting their players from fall sports and just trying to get everybody on the same page.
It's Trey Lieb with it. Nick Chung guarding him.
You know, in terms of playing in the Cereal Bowl, you know, Iolani, it took years to figure it out, but in the first bunch of years, there's a charge coming.
The dad calls off the son and says, I got it.
Yeah.
Charging call on Austin Newton.
And what happened was, initially, Iolani would match up with an Oak Hill or a premier team on the opening night.
Yeah.
And inevitably would end up playing in the morning and getting to miss class, which is kind of nice sometimes. But finally, they made an adjustment a bunch of years ago and said, what are we doing? Let's see if we can get exposure to as many teams from the continent as possible. So, smart move, but didn't work out this year, which was not lost on the Kalani players and staff when they saw themselves with an opening round matchup against the host team. That sends a message to them.
They rose to the occasion.
Yeah.
This is Higashi. Pulls up. That gets knocked away. And now knocked into the stands. The theory there is to play those Oak Hills is that you want your kids to have that experience. People used to say, wow, why do we have to play these guys straight away? Like, we don't want to miss them. We need to play these guys.
Yeah, part of it is just the X and O and the basketball side of things, right? Test your skills, measure yourself up against the country's best. But there is a little bit when you're matching up against Kevin Durant or Darren Hancock or Jerry Stackhouse. You know, later in life, you can tell your son, I blocked his shot, or I didn't get blocked by him.
Third three-point attempt by Indalecio. That one's off. He's 1 of 3 from beyond the arc.
Yeah, just last night, I saw the Kalani Falcons players pulling a little bit of the old USA Dream Team where they just got bludgeoned by 70, and they're getting autographs and selfies with the Oak Hill guys after. So
that's great. Turnover Trojans, ball to the Raiders. Who was the best player you matched up with against in the Iolani Classic?
You know, such a long time ago, but I do remember probably the most prominently recognized in probably my senior was a guy named Darren Hancock.
Oh, God.
Played for top-ranked Kansas and had a long career, primarily with the Charlotte Hornets. But yeah, that was fun guarding a 6'6", 6'7" physical specimen who also happened to be the Georgia State 100-meter state champion. So that was fun.
Trojans and Raiders trade misses. Here's Yamada. Iolani needs a basket. They won't get it there. Gibson with the rebound. Mililani up 5. Make it still 5. And D'Alessio's got it. A little bit of a scoring drought here for the team. D'Alessio's 4th time is the charm. Once again, that's his 2nd three-pointer.
Again, that freshman confidence. Right? He's not playing. He's not looking at the sheet and seeing the 9 next to his name.
Yeah.
He's seeing an opportunity to play and, frankly, seeing where his team needs him to produce.
For the first game, we were watching them warm up. Ricky Key, our physical plant supervisor, and he asked me, "Who's that?" I said, "I don't know. He's new. I don't know who that is because he doesn't miss." And I went and I said, "Oh, he's a freshman." And we kept watching, and he just kept making those threes.
Yeah, really exciting young player. His father is a fantastic baller in his own right, Vino. He just played open gym the other day, and everybody's trying to make excuses why they don't get matched up with him. It's one of those, the well-timed water break where you don't have to guard him, but you know, certainly good genes there. And
stolen away by the Trojans, and Colby Sasson will lay it up and in.
You know, you just get into the game, the ball is hard, it's cold, you're still trying to get comfortable, you catch it and kind of want to get rid of it, and that old wing back to the point pass is the easiest play in the book. It's led to countless breakaway dunks over the decades.
And this week in the tournament.
For sure.
Lead. Gibson, strong move in the lane, banks it in, and he'll go to the line with the on-one opportunity.
Last possession, the Raiders had a really nice job of getting a shot clock violation, which isn't just a turnover. There is a psychological win in that as well. It's demoralizing for the offense. Kind of gives you a little pep in your step heading back down on the offensive end, and I think Gibson's looking around, recognizing, wait a minute, I'm the most gifted athlete on the court. I'm going to start taking advantage of it. And we've seen that in multiple possessions here, getting the and one. He can go by anybody on the court right now.
Indalecio, 3-pointers off the mark. Up ahead to Rudimetkin, he'll pull up. Can't hit, scramble for the ball. That went off Nike. And you like that product placement?
Veteran move there, John. Rudimetkin, nice player, and he's really been getting some good looks. Just hasn't, I'd say three or four of his shots just trickle out.
Into the game, Kilo Scanlon replacing Shaden Molina. Football for football. Offensive lineman for defensive lineman.
Yeah, Iolani can't go too small here. Mililani's got some nice size.
Umanglog can't hit from beyond the arc. Rudimetkin the rebound. Ethan's got it there. Pass it to another Ethan Thomas, number 34. Hmm. 30-second timeout called by Mililani head coach Garrett Gabriel. His team's up 7.
Seems like an innocuous timeout, but you see your guys out of sorts. They're in a matchup zone, trying to figure out what's what. It's not bad to spend a timeout right before the half, kind of get them in place and see if you can get a successful trip down court here. Speaking of local kids playing against the elite nationally, you know, these often turn into fish stories as time goes on, and you know, we've luckily incinerated all the stat sheets from decades before, but you can say, sort of plug and play your own stat line. I can say, oh, man, I guarded Darren Hancock, had 18 and 12 against them, and you know, it was probably more like 8 and 2, but that's the beauty of time.
Maybe at halftime, we can get Derek Lowe to come here, put on the third headset, and we'll interview Mr. Derek Lowe about the shot clock. I mean, not the shot clock. The slam dunk contest last night, which he organized, which was fantastic.
Absolutely.
And his memories of the Iolani Classic. 3-time all-tournament team selection. He went on to play at the University, Washington State University. Tanaka to Indalecio. Tried to get it back to Tanaka, but that gets knocked out of bounds.
Yeah, that window for that window for a shot, you just got to get rid of it, right? Because you know you have a post trailing in the rebound. You really want to get that shot up, overthinking it on that possession.
Coach Ryan Hirata went for a stroll down toward the water cooler while you were saying what he was thinking. Trap in the corner, but Kipapa gets it away. Reed's got it. Back out to Kipapa. 3 seconds in the lane called on Ethan Thomas, or the Iolani bench. The assistant coaches doing their job really well.
It's back-to-back possessions where Mililani doesn't get a shot off, 2 violations in a row, or 1 steal and a violation. Now the flip side of calling a timeout is Gabriel gets to set up his offense, but then Coach Hirata gets to twist his defense, and what he did there was instead of the zone, he showed the zone and sent the double, so kind of set him out of sorts. Nice play there by Coach Hirata.
Offensive foul on Scanlon. Chuck Martin says he put that arm around him, hooked for an advantage.
Yeah, Scanlon's got a couple of decent trunks on him. I can see where he gets tempted to. Thomas is not a small man, so not easy to move.
Now that's 6'5" versus 6'4". That's Lumangla. Lay it up and in.
3 possessions in a row where Mililani does not get a shot off. Iolani chipping away at this lead.
Gibson. Finger roll in the lane. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. They'll call Bumanglug with the blocking foul.
Though the Trojans are headed to the line, what you have here is you have certainly taken Mililani out of any offensive flow. Nearly turn it over once again, if not for Gibson's athleticism. But even though you have Gibson at the line, you had a near charge opportunity. You want to keep this positive and know that these guys had a quality defensive possession. A lot of times those charges do come out of frantic situations in the help side, so nice to know that they were in the right spot on that.
Bumanglug from beyond the arc. Trojans with the rebound, and they will push it in transition. Lead. Kipapa.
Freshman on freshman here. Flashback to the HD Future Showcase last year.
Lead with the miss in the lane. Raiders with it. Shot clock is off. 15 seconds to go here until halftime. Tanaka with it. Five on the shot clock. Tanaka's shot blocked from behind by Lee. And he casts up the desperation shot. That falls short.
In the first half, your score, 19.
Mililani leading at 19-14 over Iolani. Steal by Bumanglug, and then he'll go to the line to shoot 2 after being fouled.
Hirata continuing to change up his defenses, catching Mililani by surprise. A turnover and Mililani not paying attention. Iolani slaps on a quick press, gets a turnover. Bumanglug at the line.
In and rolling around and out.
So again, their basket's not necessarily falling, but how many opportunities can you create to give yourself a chance to get back in this game?
We shall see. Lead. Gibson. Through to Metcalf. Side pass to Thomas. Thomas and Sasson can't finish. Here come the Raiders with an opportunity here. See if they can get a good look. Yamada's three-pointer. Thomas with the rebound. Big Ethan Thomas, 6'5" senior. Working for position down low is Ethan against Molina. Kicks it back out to Rudametkin.
And maybe they found something here. That's back-to-back possessions where you have a high to low, or in that case, low to high action. And when you have an advantage with your 4 and 5 with Rudametkin and Thomas against a smaller Iolani lineup, take advantage of it.
Bumanglug three-pointer is good. He's got 6.
Yeah, another turnover by the Trojans, and oftentimes you tell the young guys, hey, you don't necessarily have to take the ball away. If you do it properly, they'll give it to you. It's another example.
Raiders with it, down 5, looking to break a 3-game losing streak. Yamada's shot blocked by Thomas.
We'll see if Iolani continues to put pressure on the Mililani ball handling core. They have a sophomore guard in Lieb, and next up to bat is Gibson. So we'll see if they continue to put pressure on them to make decisions with the ball. There's another 3 by Yamada.
That's his second. He's got 9 unofficially. Wes Yamada, 5'9" senior guard.
Really wonderful player as the prototypical point guard. Shoots it when he has to, knows exactly where to go with it.
Bumanglug, Molina. Back to Bailey. To the freshman Indalecio, back to Yamada, the senior. Uses Molina as kind of a lead blocker there. Step behind him, but couldn't hit the three-pointer.
Not the best look they could have got on that possession. But they're 2 down, and they're feeling it. You can feel it in here. They're confident and comfortable.
Rudametkin misses. Bumanglug clears, and he's running into the attacking zone. Kick it out to Yamada. That three-pointer is perfect.
2 in a row, and you can just see it in Yamada. The confidence is oozing now. He's really in his element, both ends of the court.
It's Gibson. Sisson answers with a long jumper.
And you're in that weird spot where Yamada's winded, but he's hit 2 in a row, and so you kind of let that juice carry him through here. You don't want to get him out.
Yamada with it again. Bumanglug working against Gibson. Steps back for the 3. Trojans with it. They are up a point.
A lot of times the worst shot in hoops you can take is a long 2, but in that case, I think Bumanglug got a little too James Hardenish and tried to get too far back behind the 3 instead of just a nice little pull-up 15-footer.
Gucci Papa back into the game, also Newton. James Hardenish, wow. So the guys watch TV and pick up these habits.
Well, it's difficult too. He did such a nice job of doing a step back after getting his Gibson, who's a tremendous athlete, getting him going the other direction. He had a nice clean pull-up look, but thought, gee, maybe I should get a little bit more of a hop and get a clean 3. So he did a really nice job of getting himself open. Just got stuck in that long 2 zone.
Gibson will go to the line after being fouled by 10. Tyler Morita and Nick Chung back into the game for the Raiders.
Coach Gabriel going into the regular season here, you can see he's getting putting a lot of weight and a lot of responsibility on his young guards. He has a tandem of sophomore Lieb and now the freshman Kipapa, getting them primed for the the gauntlet of the OIA season coming up.
Gibson hits 2. He's in double figures with 10. And now he's got the rebound. Kanoa Gibson, so much speed. Raiders knock it away, and here they come. Chung penetrates, kicks to Morita. Keep Papa with it now for Mililani. They lead it by 3. Coach Gabriel directing traffic here, right behind Kanoa Gibson. Gibson's got it, his 3-pointer off the back of the iron. But T. Papa has it, and we've got a second chance opportunity here.
One of the challenges of playing zone is it's a lot more difficult to box out, especially on long shots. So when you're playing zone, sometimes you just get a raw deal and not getting a clean rebound. But again, sometimes just because they're sitting in a zone doesn't mean you can't ball pressure. And in that possession, you have Iolani's 2 guards pressuring the ball, making them make long and unnecessary delayed passes.
It's Yamada, Chung, Indalecio. Five on the shot clock when Yamada takes his 3-pointer. Nice rebound by Molina. Indalecio is open for 3. This is Rudimetkin, 6'3". Came in averaging 10.8 points per game. Number 13 there with it, Ethan Rudimetkin, leading scorer for the Trojans. Number 33, Zane Kanahele called for a pushing foul on the offensive side.
That was one of those unfortunate physics experiments where Kanahele didn't necessarily foul him. It was just that his girth sort of made the Iolani guard sort of bounce off or the kick in the open three. And that starts a whole series of scramble on the defense. Somebody's going to get an open look. So it's nice to see a well-coached team know where they're supposed to be.
Coach Ryan Hirata is, assisted by, I was going to name the assistant. The ball was placed on the ground for the, that might be one of those little things. Raiders late onto the court. Mililani was ahead of them on that, and it resulted in a three-pointer.
And that was strange. It was one of those, that was almost like it was the ref was trying to make a point instead of realizing both teams hadn't come out from the timeout yet. Unfortunate for the Raiders. Nice shot by the young freshman Kipapa.
Fujinaka challenged Kanahele. Couldn't get that one to drop, but the Raiders have a second chance opportunity here. Chung takes it out to 10. He'll drive, but it knocked away from behind. Foul called, though, on Kel Higashi.
And that might be one of those referee cosmic balancing whistles there. Probably not a foul, but maybe ref recognizing the Raiders got a raw deal on the other end. Mililani in straight man here, so Iolani likes to try and get a lot of pick and roll action. I want to see if the post, Molina, the nice move, spin move there. I want to see if the post, after he sets the pick on the roll, not fade into a purgatory and make himself available on the roll.
Kipapa three-pointer. It's off the mark. Up ahead to Fujinaka. He gets it to Molina. Look at that defensive lineman. Beautiful save. Nick Chung. Now Yamada in this frantic possession here. 10. Can't get it to go over Kanahele. Here come the Trojans. Up ahead to Gibson. Rudametkin. Raiders with it, down a point. Fujinaka can't get that one to go up at the basket.
Coach Gabriel wisely saying, all right, this frantic pace hasn't really helped us. Let's slow it down. We have advantages, especially in the post. See if we can take advantage of this holes in the zone, in the short corner especially.
Coach Garrett Gabriel will call a full timeout to talk it over with his Trojans, who lead it by 1 with 5.5 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, 8 seconds left on a shot clock. Maybe not the best time to burn one and set something up. 18 would have been nicer, but coach doesn't see what he likes. He wants to see if he can get something out of his possession. Again, tenuously holding on to his 1-point lead.
You know, Raiders in close games have come up on the short end of the stick in close games this year. When I look at their results, I see a 3-point loss, a 2-point loss, a 1-point loss, a 3-point loss, a 1-point loss, a 1-point loss. Last night they lost to Mid-Pacific by the score of 52-41, but in the tight ones, and they've had some wins. I'm not saying they lost all the games, but their wins are by 13, by 13 again, and 10.
And going back to if it's falling for them, right? And this team really needs to shoot well from distance to compete. You're not going to generate a whole lot of points at the rim, and that's just the nature and the makeup of their roster. So if the Raiders can come through in this game, in a close game, we think, 5:26 to go, 1-point game, that's a building block for Coach Ryan Hirata. Absolutely, to turn the corner, right? And you can take those close losses in a couple of different ways. You know, coaches most likely say, we're right there, and you look at the final result. But for instance, in that Moanalua game a couple of weeks ago, they were down double digits, battled back in a third, battled back in a fourth courageously, and tied it to force overtime. So you can really pull a lot of positives. And in this age, for the psyche of these young guys, you really want to try and find things they can sink their teeth into confidence-wise.
Knocked away by Kanahele. Gives his Trojans a possession here. They're up 3. 5 minutes to go in the 4th. 15 on the shot clock for Mililani. Looks like they're gonna make good use of the possessions time-wise. 5 on the shot clock. Gibson can't get that one over Molina, but there's a putback. Is that Kanahele?
Kanahele.
He's on the scoreboard. Zane with his first 2. Fujinaka tried to feed that underneath to Molina, knocked away by Kanahele. He's having a strong second half.
Absolutely, he seemed to settle in and kind of taking, coaches recognize maybe Kanahele is who he wants to lean on for his 5 instead of Thomas, so we'll see.
Zach Tens in the lane. Can't get that one to go, and that man again, Kanahele with the rebound.
Nice dime by Yamada, making the right play.
There's some instructions here from the Mililani coaching staff.
And Coach Gabriel recognizing, well, why are we in a rush? Why do we have to play at a frantic pace? Let's let them guard us, and in the meantime, bleed a little clock.
It's bleeding all the way down to 1 second. They won't get that off. Shot clock violation. Ball over to the Raiders, who trail it by 5. Key possession here. And to make that point, Coach Ryan Hirata calls a full timeout. They want to get this one right.
Oh, some of Coach's nightmares, the dreaded empty possession, where you get absolutely nothing out of it, not even a shot.
They got 30 seconds out of it.
They have 30 seconds out of it, true. But, you know, they have their the 4th shot clock violation today, and that starts to wear on your team and confidence, and now we start going, gee, are we going to be able to get a look at what looks like Coach Hirata has extended that zone a little bit to create a little bit more pressure on the outside.
You're looking at Coach Garrett Gabriel in his Mililani huddle. Over on the other side, see assistant coach Brandon Kawazoe going over some things with the dry erase board. And now Ryan Hirata is chiming in. Also assistant coaches Bryson McCartney and Kainoa Shear. Kawazoe was the Kaiser coach when they won a Division II state title here in the state of Hawaii. He was assisted by Kainoa Shear, who played here at Iolani and won state titles, I think plural, as a player.
Absolutely. I'm wondering if, you know, Garrett Gabriel's been in a few huddles in his own right, and I'm just curious, does the Mililani huddle break up with him going on 2-on-2? Ready, break.
Maybe in the beginning days, maybe not now. This is Bailey Bumanglug, Wes Yamada, Shaden Molina. Shaden will shoot from beyond the arc at times. This is Nick Chung who does that and swishes that one home so perfectly that the net is hung up. And the young Martin is big enough and athletic enough to jump up there and pull it down.
Well, not only did he hit a big 3, but he also tangled the net, which allowed Iolani to set up their press.
Yeah.
Again.
10-second violation called on Mililani. You can prove that by that 19 up there on the shot clock.
Again,
You know,
go ahead.
Yeah. I was just going to say, kind of an oddity in the girls' tournament was there's no 10-second violation with the shot clock, 30. But in the boys, there is. They use college rules rather than in the girls' tournament.
And after that last whistle, you saw Mililani, 3 of the 5, the guy's shoulders just shrugged, they collapsed. You got back-to-back 3s by Chung, and next thing you know, you just stole the lead. Talk about deflated. Mililani just dragging back to the huddle.
Chung, those 2 3-pointers last game were in the, I forget if it was the Kalani game, he was hot early. Now he's fourth quarter hot. 30-second timeout called immediately after that shot went through by Coach Ryan Hirata.
And this lead change was a long time coming. You could feel throughout the third quarter that Iolani was close to wresting this lead away from Mililani. Now it's happened, and it's happened in dramatic fashion. A jumble of big threes and unnecessary turnovers by the Trojans. They need to be careful here. There's only 3 minutes left here. They seem to be back on their heels and playing not to lose almost. They have advantages, especially with Rudimetkin and Kanahele in a high-low action and Gibson's athleticism, but just haven't been able to put it together.
This ball off the hands of Lead. He gets harassed in the corner. Trojans still with it though. This is some frantic basketball going on here.
This is what Iolani wants to happen. Mililani has been suspect handling pressure all morning.
Gibson, 3-pointer. Caught Noah Gibson. That's his second 3.
He pulled that out of the hat. They needed that one because they were out of sorts.
Molina. Saved by Yamada. That took some doing.
Well, you can do so much if you can properly pass out of the post, and that was the design pass out of the post. Chung, another 3.
They found a hot man. Nick Chung in the far corner. He's got 3 of those and got 9. Lieb on the other end will go to the line to shoot 2. He forced the contact with Molina.
That's a situation where, as the last man of defense, sometimes, I guess this is just a personal wish, is I wish some of these kids would challenge the shot more. Oftentimes the young players at this age, they're driving in with the hopes that they'll get a whistle. They don't really have a plan. I'm gonna go hard and flail and throw my body and hope I get a whistle, and sometimes those are prime opportunities to get a piece of the ball and not spend the foul.
2 foul shots by Lee. That puts the Trojans back ahead by the slimmest of all margins. Let's see what the Raiders do here.
See, Mililani now out of that made free throws in a 2-3.
Bumangla, high arching 3 will go. Molina has it though. They reset the shot clock to 20.
What that zone did is, when you're in a zone, you're on the wing, you get a lot of looks at the hoop, and I think Bumangla eyes got big and he realized, he took the bait. Mililani baited him into a deep 3 that was early in the shot clock. Coach Hirata didn't like that. Let's get ourselves settled here. 1:28 left in the game. He wants an absolute positivity, quality look here. You do not want to turn it over. You do not want a shot that you did not design.
1:28 left, 16 on the shot clock. And now you start thinking about possessions in this kind of shot clock tournament that we're having here. 1-point game, got the ball.
This is where it's unfortunate that for some reason we don't have the will nor the wallet perhaps to get these clocks throughout the state, because it really changes the way the game is played and coached. Because now, right, there is no holding the ball to the last shot if you have it. There is no, you have to scheme and rifle through all the different scenarios and split this 1.5 left up into smaller pieces. Really challenging.
What we need to mention here too as well is that Mililani has 14 fouls, Iolani has 3. Chung.
And Coach Hirata wanted a quick hit there. He wanted a post-to-post. Didn't get it.
1 on the shot clock. Raiders, they did get that one off, but that was well short by Yamada.
Again, out of the timeout. right? Choi was late, Chung, excuse me, was late to look in to the open 10 on the post-to-post, and then they ended up with a frazzled and frantic deep three that caught nothing.
Trojans with a 1-point lead, 9-8-7 on the shot clock. And a foul called on Bailey Bumanglo reaching in with 5 on the shot clock.
Well, the nice thing about that is because you're not in the bonus, you can take chances and put pressure, especially with Mililani being suspect all day, handling the ball. It's okay. You spend one, they reset the clock. It's okay. You're still down 1. You're right.
The reset only goes to 20. Now it's down to 12. 35 on the game clock. And it is knocked away and stolen away by Bumanglo. Big play there by Bailey, the 5'11" sophomore guard, brother of Noah, who graduated last year from Iolani School and is at Grinnell College playing basketball.
Just like his dad, Ronnie.
Yeah.
Moana Luamene. His uncle, the inimitable Kai Machida, legendary long-distance assassin for the Raiders and the Roosevelt Rough Riders.
I like that adjective you used.
Yeah, I don't really know what it means, but it sounds pretty cool.
I'm not going to ask you the definition. We are looking in on the Iolani huddle there. Coach Ryan Hirata drawing up a play. Probably also saying, hey, let's not get a shot clock violation. Let's do this. Let's do it in a timely fashion. But Mililani's out there, you know, trying to throw a monkey wrench into that all the time, and they played great defense today.
Again, you're in this weird balance. You got 25 seconds. You're down 1. They had a back-to-back timeout. Gabriel didn't have enough time, so he just took another full. So we have a back-to-back full. Both coaches saying we'd rather talk this over a little bit more.
We got a 3D chess match going on here, Kevin.
But it's understandable because, right, if you're Iolani, how quickly do you take your shot? How much time do you want left? Because think about this. If you take too long to shoot and you foul, you're not in the bonus. You need to burn 1, 2, 3 more fouls to get into the bonus where you want it to work to your advantage, right? So I'm looking here for Coach Hirata. He's gonna. You don't want to take a bad shot, but I do not think he's going to wait too long to get it up because you're going to need to spend time in lengthening this game with fouls and hopefully getting to the bonus.
We spent some time with Coach Hirata before the game talking about some of the players that aren't here, that are sick or injured or seeking medical attention. They'll be back. Win, lose, or draw here. There won't be a draw, but this team is building and growing. But let's see if they can take a step forward here. Down 1. 20 seconds on the game clock.
Mililani and man, they're on lots of high pick and roll to loosen up Yamada's man off of them.
Chung remains hot here in the 4th quarter. That's his 4th three-pointer. Ball bounces out of bounds. It will stay.
Look for the Raiders to give a foul here. Another timeout by Gabriel. Let's see what Coach Hirata does in a timeout. They are not in the bonus. Only 2.3 left. Mililani has urgency to get a shot off. You might think about, and this is where the coaches get paid the big bucks, you might think about giving a foul on the catch on the inbound. That way you take a half a second off. Maybe move the ball away from the baseline if they have to enter it far away. So, again, you mentioned the chess match earlier. There's so many factors that go into this. If you're Gabriel, you're guessing, are they going to be in man? Are they going to be in zone? Then we want to look at something at the rim, whether it's a lob to one of your big boys. Do you want to get Gibson moving around because there isn't someone on Iolani that can really stick with him? A lot of decisions to be made here.
Nick Chung has 4 3-pointers in the second half. The last 3 of them, including the first one, gave the Raiders the lead. All 3 of those 3 makes was been down. And big shots. They needed every single one of them. They're leading by 2.3 seconds to go here.
And you could see it. I noticed when Chung came in the game first in the second half, he was barely on the court. A couple of seconds, he was dry, he looked cold. He came off a double pick and just let it fly. It didn't go in. But you could see, like, okay, he knows what his job is. Make the long ball. He certainly got it. Raiders in man. Switching everything.
Into lead. His three-pointer is short. And the Raiders win it. 41-39.